so I got to be at some meetings at the office to sleep through them tomorrow. But I wanted to come out and spend some time with you and talk with you from my heart about where I see the company and talk to you about the direction we're going and what I want to see happen for all of you in your lives. Talk to you about, from my heart, why we're doing what we're doing, the kind of logic behind what we're doing, and the thinking that I want to get across. Rick, I am so proud of you, buddy. I mean, I got to tell you, I mean, in all honesty, I got a lot of dear friends in the company, people that I think the world of, that I would, you know, if they called, I'd start walking to try to get to wherever they're at to try to help them. And near the top of that list is one of my best friends, Rick Susie, who I love. And to tell you, you guys are a part of a great team, great people. We're a part of a great company. And I want to spend some time with you and talk with you about our mission. I'm going to talk a little bit personally about what motivates me right now. Why am I in this thing? What am I doing right now? What do I see my responsibility as? And then therefore try to transfer that to you as to what I would ask all of us to do as a team. I'll be honest with you. The last 5 years of my life have been beyond crazy. Okay, you know, I'll give y'all kind of the short Cliff Notes version. I'll probably, with the RVP group, when we talk a little bit, I'll talk a little bit more about it. But the last 5 years have been a challenge. It's been hard. It's been very rewarding in many ways. I feel like on a personal level, I've accomplished a lot of things. But it's been hard. It's been, this has been like 24/7, wide open, however many hours it takes. I mean, there ain't been a lot of vacation. I mean, a few years ago I was talking with, I gave golf up. I mean, I just figured out that's my game for my 60s. You know, one of these days when hopefully I'll be healthy enough and have some time to do stuff, I'm going to pick that. I gave up all kind of crap because I said I had a mission to accomplish. We figured out in about 2006 that we needed to get this business out of the city. I really wish I'd have known how much we needed to get it out of the city, because I would have a lot more net worth because I would have sold a hell of a lot of the stock. But we figured out that this company could not work and could not fit within the city, and we started a process. Almost no sooner than I'd started the process, Rick and I had, in February of that year in Hawaii, I had a stroke. A very serious stroke, not a kind of little, you know, whatever. I mean, it was I was in intensive care in Atlanta at Emory Hospital for 10 days, and in the middle of it, they thought they were going to have to go in because my brain was swelling from the stroke and remove half my cerebellum, which would have been very tricky. I mean, because they were talking to me about the risk. They said you may never be able to walk again. It may really affect your speech if we don't. I mean, but if we don't, you're going to die. And fortunately, that same day, the swelling started going down and stuff. So it was one of those eye-opening experiences that ain't none of us on this earth. There's people that are in cemeteries, and then there's the rest of us that'll be there soon enough. I mean, that's what it is. So it was one of those eye-openers to me kind of personally in my life. And I spent quite a bit of time after that thinking about what I wanted to do with my life. At that time, Citigroup stock was $52 a share. It was a different world. I mean, I actually had, maybe I ought to just retire, okay? Maybe I've done this long enough. I've had a pretty good run at it. Maybe I need to just, cash it in. Everybody will understand, do the big, get a big portrait for the home office, all that crap, and move on with my life. But what I decided was that I had a responsibility, because of the position I was in, to lead this company to where it needed to go. And so I started the path in a big way then, Rick and I did, of getting the business out of the city. It was the craziest ride you've ever seen. I mean, this is before the economy collapsed, before the financial services industry collapsed, before all that, in the middle, I mean, we're trying to get a company that's a very profitable, good company out of Citigroup as the world's ended around us. I mean, literally, we were on Wall Street skating through, fighting through, trying to get through things as the world was literally collapsing. Deals that we would have done would evaporate within 10 days. And through that process, and in all honesty, y'all, it was just friggin', number one, Rick is incredibly smart financially, okay? And I'm pretty tough, okay? And I can sit in a room with somebody. I mean, we made a decision. Worst thing they can do to us is fire us, tell us to go home. Okay, they ain't going to shoot our family behind the building. We're not in a communist country. You know, it's not like they're taking our family away from me. And so we're going to play wide open and see where we get to. And we were playing chicken. I mean, it was dirty knife fighting, stare across the table, who's going to blink kind of thing. And we were able to pull it off in April of 2010. And the company got free, while the rest of the industry is collapsing and falling apart, y'all. And it's still happening. I mean, just look at what's going on in all those big banks right now and stuff. I mean, Jamie Dimon, who I know very well, and was one of the first people to call Rick and I when he found out we were getting it out of city, congratulate us and stuff. Even those businesses, I mean, you know, he is really a smart guy, and he can't run that crowd, okay? Those businesses, that is a broken model. And the financial services industry is a mess. And in the biggest mess in the history of America since the Great Depression, okay, since back, you know, this place was built, was one of the golden resorts of the 1920s, and then it went through some tough years and bankruptcy and everything when the world collapsed in the 1930s, okay? Since that time, the worst time you can imagine, our company came out a strong company. And I mean, now listen to these numbers, y'all. Since the beginning, when I first came with the company, and I'll talk in my close here a little bit about that. Since when I first came with the company, we were, you know, everybody wrote about us like we weren't going to make it. Company wasn't going to last. We were fly by night. We were this thing run by this crazy little football coach down in Georgia, and it wasn't going to make it. We wouldn't be there to pay our death claims, all that kind of stuff. My early jobs with the company, one of the ways I got to know Art was he was always doing print pieces and stuff to combat what the competition was saying about us. And I was one of the few. I was working on my MBA at night. And so I was one of the few people that actually owned a business calculator that could do present values and knew how to use it, okay? So Mike Adams and I wound up working with Art on all of those things back then. It's how I kind of learned the business and learned the company and stuff. Back then they said we weren't going to make it. Well, since this company was founded, we've now paid out over $14.6 billion in death claims, okay?
Wow.
I'm in Washington, D.C. a lot on business now. I've been, you know, meeting with, you know, all the, you know, politicians and stuff to try to tell them who our company is and protect our business and all that kind of stuff. One of the stories I tell all the time is on 9/11, we paid death claims in every plane, every tower, every building. The maitre d' at Windows on the World at in the World Trade Center, he had traded to go in early that morning, swapped jobs for a guy that needed to have the day off, and went down in the tower. He had $900,000 of coverage with us. We had replaced a $50,000 Prudential whole life policy with $900,000 of coverage. He had 8, he was an immigrant from the Dominican Republic, had 8 children, okay? And the life of that family is very different because this company exists, okay? And so we do something great. We have almost $40 billion of assets under management in retirement accounts for families. We've paid out since 1984 when we first have records. Okay, we didn't have it on the computer. Before 1984, all of everybody's numbers when they're they're talking about what they did or just they're making them up. Okay? So, but since 84, we have those numbers. We paid out $12.7 billion in cash to the sales force. This is something big. This is something great. This is a special company. And so in April of 2010, we got the heck out of Citigroup. We got the company to a safe place. Because there were, this is me talking to y'all as, is either RVPs or future RVPs in this company, okay, as people who want to do something great. We went through some scary times. Rick and I, there were many nights, in 2009, I was in New York 42 weeks. Okay, I basically kind of ran Primerica and lived in New York, trying to get the business out of Citi. Citigroup, understand, all those big banks are screwed up things right now. They're shutting things just to shut them, to get them off their balance sheet. They, at one point they studied, what if we just did shut this thing down? What if John and Rick are warping us, wanting to do this IPO, driving us crazy? Why don't we fire them, eliminate all those jobs in Atlanta, and let this be? A lot of insurance companies understand, one of the things, everybody talks about how we used to have 2,000 life insurance companies, now there's 1,000. What happens with them is some company will buy them, shut down all new business, say we don't want any more new business, get rid of all the agents, get rid of all the employees, and then just collect the premium like it's an annuity. Okay, just take it to the bottom line. Cut all the expenses out, keep the premium. Some people will lapse because they, lapse, but just take the premium to the bottom line. That was the kind of thing these companies, and that was my fear. The thing that kept me awake at night was that they were going to kill this great company that has so many lives, as a part of it. I just lived in fear. We got that. We saved that. That got done. We got out of Citi. Okay? Then now the question is, you're in a safe place. Are you going to go to a great place? Are we going to fulfill our destiny? And so I just talk for a second to the bigger group, and I'll talk more to the RVPs about kind of the philosophy of what we're doing. Rick did a great job talking about what we're trying to do in compensation. One of the things that became very obvious to me when you studied the numbers, forget what people say to you in a room where they're talking to you about what they're doing, look at what the numbers are saying people are doing. People got so focused on whatever level bonus they had to get to that when they looked at a crowd of people, it was premium versus future RVPs. My goal in life was get to 30. Get to 30. I got to get to 30. If I get to that level, I'm okay. Well, if you look at the statistics, 85% of the people that do above 30 are going to do 31 to 35. Okay, am I going to promote an RVP out of that, take a big pay cut the next month? No, I'm not. Okay, so we started looking at things and said, we want to not blow up what people are doing, not kill a bunch of people that are doing awesome right now. We want to shift and adjust and focus. I had a long conversation with Art the other day, who, I grew up working with Art, an amazing man. Okay, I'm talking about, you want to talk about a stud, okay? I'm talking about an amazing man. And, I was talking to him about what we're doing and how we're doing it, and I'll talk in a second about, some of the things he's talking about working with us and doing with us and stuff like that. But, in talking to him, when Art ran the company, and, and probably Rick's the person here beside me that really remembers that. When Art ran the company, he ran it like a speedboat. Honest to God, if you didn't like what was going on in comp, wait till next week because he'd change it. And we laugh about that now, but that was like the truth. Okay, that was what he did in running the company. He would change it, and people always talked about Art-proofing their hierarchy. Okay, so that whatever he did, I'm okay. And he would, and my analogy, and I had him laugh, and I said, Art, but the company was less than 13 years old. Art was 48 years old when it was gone. Okay? It was a very young company. Art owned the company, And so he could be the total dictator on, this is just how I'm doing it. If you don't like it, don't let the, he used to say, don't let the door hit you when